Okay, this time I'm on the train, and I got my sunglasses on, even though we're in a tunnel. And Sean just went to work. And we were talking about time being not a linear thing, and being I don't know what the word for it is, but it would go forwards and backwards. And it would be like omnipresent in the future, and in the past, and in the present. I don't know if that's true, but if you think about like genetic coding and like other types of codes, this train is loud. I don't know where the speaker is either. Okay, here. But if you think about that in terms of like genetics, if you could send this thing. Sorry. If you could send genetic material forwards and backwards in time through family lineage, wouldn't that be interesting? I've already said that priests and monks, despite their vows, should probably have children because they're depriving the future of genetic material and their knowledge. I believe that. And it's not the same time when those rules were created. I mean, some of those rules were created so that there wouldn't be dynasties or whatever you call it of warlord priests, and popes or monks. You gotta, I don't know. But those times are over. And there's no reason that they can't have children. I mean, think about that if you were the Dalai Lama or Pope Francis and you had children and your genetic material was shared with your children. Amazing, right? I mean, not that those children would be like, oh my God, they're like, but there's information. I mean, you learn and your body like passes on and maybe triggers certain things to be turned off or on, or I don't know. It would be, it's not the same time. That voice is like, don't put your feet on the seat. It's like you can't when you're sitting on the train because there's metal in front of you. I mean, don't be silly. I mean, I don't know how you do it. Unless you could, sit sideways and put your feet up on you're not going to do that anyways. You'll be respectful of the train. Yeah, but think about that in terms of depriving the future of beautiful knowledge and that kind of ability to share that knowledge with another human being. A little human being, And it's not the same times as it was back in the day. Not that I was there, mind you, but there needs to be a revolutionary new thinking, and then maybe priests wouldn't be. I mean, they don't want to. Some of them didn't want to be priests in the first place. They were forced to be priests by their families, and then they have sexual lives anyways. So why not remove that and just let the ones that want to take vows of celibacy and asexuality do that? But then the others that don't, let them have children. Let them be children too. I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's on my mind sometimes. I'm like, that whole idea of it's not not having children, it's the loss of potential of that child in the future. I'm so I tell Chrissy, and Chrissy agrees with me, I'm like a pro-life person, but women have the right to choose, and that is important for them. I said I didn't want to see dead women in the alleys because that's what would happen, and dead girls. Of course, there's Native American remedies for that, and I already told you about that Plan B stuff, women. So if you just think about that, you learn that in the ER from doctors and other nurses, back to the monks and priests having babies. Not them themselves, but, I mean, and maybe some of them are like, well, I don't have time in my spiritual life to take care of children. And it's like, yes, you do. You can have a private life, a spiritual life, a social life, a work life, a this life. And like at one time I said I compartmentalized my life so well that when I was on as a nurse, I was on, and when I was on as a drinker or a drug addict or a label, I was on, and when I was on as a dad, I was on, and when I was on as this, I was on. And maybe some of those compartments just got sucked into the middle, into a hole, and maybe now I'm just on. I gotta laugh about it because it's the only thing I can do right now. One, cry. Like the other night I was crying under the covers because I was like, oh, these people are hurting me again. And they're hurting.
50th Street, Minnehaha.
And sometimes I hear those voices saying, stay, you're helping. And then sometimes I hear the ones that say, leave, we hate you, we're going to kill you. Not pleasant, but I listen. I'm like, all right, bring it on. I'll listen. It's not fun having dissenting opinions, but it's not also fun to be silent about your opinion either, and I respect that on both sides. So, that's the thing. I mean, you have to be respectful whether you're not. You like the other person, you'd be like, all right, you got your 5 minutes, I get my 5 minutes. Or, not 5 minutes, but you get your time, and then I get my time, and the times that we're together about talking about things doesn't have to be so. They could be more. Oh, they're checking tickets now. Well, anyway, so I don't know what popes and what the Pope thinks about priests having children, but maybe if they felt like they were part of a nuclear. If they were part of their own family and then part of the spiritual family, I don't know, maybe some people wouldn't be harming kids if they would. If they were allowed to have sexual lives and acknowledge that they're sexual beings, like we all are. All right, well, I think I talked about the sexuality thing yesterday, and my stop is coming up. But think about it. It's not so much. Well, think about it, priests and monks. Think about what you could teach and pass on to the future.
46th Street Station.
Not that that's why I chose to have children in the first place, because it isn't. I chose because I fell in love with somebody. And I wasn't under any laws that said that I couldn't. I didn't need permission from anyone to have children. I didn't have to sign up in a registry. I didn't have to go courting and go to somebody's parents and say, can we have children? I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to go to the gay community or the straight community and say, can I have children? Or any community. I was just like, children. Well, there was another involved, I mean, your mother. But, it's not, people don't need permission to have children. Animals don't either. Hell, most of the animals just do sex for procreation. Not for enjoyment. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I better go.